Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
I've got 20 minutes till Run Club meets, and it's time for a quick pre-workout snack. Go-Go Squeeze Active Fruit Blend to the rescue. Made with select B vitamins to help release energy, it's an easy, squeezable pouch made to move with me. The taste? So good. And made with real fruit. Even better. Whether I'm hitting the trail or meeting my friends on the court, this is my go-to on-the-go snack. Quick, easy, ready when I am. When it's go time, I go with Go-Go Squeeze Active. Snag yours on your next door run. Search for Go-Go Squeeze on Amazon.
This episode brought to you by the following patrons: Heather, Leaf Girl, Min, Jason, Madeline, Alyssa, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Kristen, and Tia. But because it's that special time of the month, we get to shout out our You Can Get It level sponsors, and they are Figueroa McGee, Ghislaine, Finessa, Heather, Kathy, Nikki, Knitting Menace, Spooky Lime Pie, Renee, Charles, Grace, Sean, Allie, Dr. Voorhees, MD, Amelia, Aaron, Irene, Nate, Naomi, Bex, Laura, Lubu, Cameron, Kaylee, Jackie, Unintentionally Badass, aka Jennifer, and Isaac. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group, where we'll be talking about how many times this movie is just like messing around, man, daily.
My husband said something before I came in to record this, and he said, of all the monsters Van Helsing fights, none is as fierce as his wig. And I think he's right.
I mean, I didn't even notice it was a wig, but I'm notoriously bad at that.
You are notorious for that.
Yeah, but I know you loved Tarzan Van Helsing at the end, Paige.
I wish I could have, but I was already too bored with the movie. Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
And I'm your Horror Virgin, Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this week, the listeners made us watch
Van Helsing.
So, Paige,
Yeah.
I know the answer to this question because it won listener request, but by the end of this movie, I was also screaming like Frankenstein's monster.
Why? I think we're going to have fun talking about it.
Oh, yes. How could we not? This movie is fucking around to the point where I, someone who notoriously loves movies that just be fucking around,
right,
was like, guys, this might be a little too much fucking around.
It's too much. It's too much. This was not the first time I'd seen this movie. Was this your first time?
Of course it was the first time, Paige. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
First off, you can't be sorry because this was a truly holy experience for me. I'll never, ever go back. Like, I am a changed person having seen this film.
Sure. Yeah, no, of course. I had an interesting experience today. This was not the first time I've seen this film. I'm pretty sure I saw this in theaters.
What? Oh, did you only see the first half of it?
No.
Like, what?
I went through a period of time because this was out and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was out. And everyone was like, they're bad, but they're fun, right? You know, or whatever.
I did see League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I used to kind of defend this movie of like, it's a fun time. time, but I hadn't watched it in years. And I today feel like I watched this movie for the first time because I remembered full 3 scenes of this movie.
That is me rewatching any movie we've watched over a year ago.
Sure.
I have no memory of it.
I remembered the townspeople, I remembered the ball, and I remembered the eggs. And that was it. Full stop. I didn't remember that there was a werewolf in it.
What? That's like a huge plot point.
Yeah, I didn't remember Frankenstein. I did remember Jekyll and Hyde, because that's also something that's in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
It is, yeah.
And that's it. So, like, this movie starts with the, like, Frankenstein black and white, and I was like, have I never seen the beginning of this movie? I was like, I know I have. I know I've seen this movie.
And it may as well start with through the mist, through the woods.
Yes.
We're attacking a castle because we want to kill the vampire inside. Like, it's so very hardcore that.
So hardcore. I didn't remember that we had Phantasm minions. I didn't remember that we had a Star Wars ending. Like, I didn't remember any of that.
Paige.
And so I spent most of this movie just like, what? I didn't remember that Van Helsing is strongly implied to be the angel Gabriel.
It's not implied. He calls him Gabriel exclusively, and then it's very clear he is just the angel Gabriel sent to Earth with amnesia?
Yes. They never say you are the Archangel Gabriel. They just say you're the left hand of God. And I was like,
Yes,
okay, so
yes.
the Archangel Gabriel?
That is them saying
Yeah.
it, Paige. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
There's so many Universal characters in this movie. It kind of felt like there should have been, I don't know, conservatively 5 or 6 movies before this movie where Dracula went around like Nick Fury at the end of each character's solo movie.
This is like their end game.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We are picking up at Endgame in this movie. Like, there should have been like a Frankenstein movie where at the end, Dracula comes in and he's like, you're not just a patchwork abomination of stolen corpses. You're also the battery that's going to jumpstart my egg sacs of death or whatever. I need you, Frank. Let's do it.
I mean, why Dracula has a breeding fetish? I don't know. But here, I'll spoil a fun fact.
Oh my God, please do.
Creature from Black Lagoon was also supposed to be in this, like Swamp Thing. And like,
Yes.
there were supposed to be more monsters, which, given that this movie is so fucking long, I don't know how or where they would have fit them in other than to do what you just described.
Paige, if you told me this movie was 2 days long, I would say no, it's way longer.
It's so much longer.
Like, it is so long. It is the longest 2 hours and 11 minutes I'll ever spend. But it's honestly, there's some parts that it's worth watching. It is worth watching. And then for me, probably a yearly rewatch because I'll forget all of this.
Oh, easily forgettable.
But it's like, oh my God, there's so many, like, okay, so like, I guess nobody cares about Dracula lore in this movie. Like,
At all.
It's crazy. Like, what are we doing? We're just making shit up? I mean, that's great, but like, what are we doing? Like, what's the lore?
Even vampire to vampire, because like his brides
Yes.
abide by Dracula lore and he doesn't, and I don't know why.
Yeah, because he can't be killed by anything other than a werewolf bite. You know, the famous single thing that can kill a Dracula, a vampire bite. That has to take place between midnight and the 12th chime.
And the 12th chime.
Guys, this movie, lore is on lock.
And angels can be werewolves. So like that's like
Yeah.
Also the idea that Transylvania, like Dracula's castle, is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Dr. Frankenstein's castle is fucking nonsense. That's so crazy.
Paige, it was hilarious to me at the beginning of this movie when Frank, I'm going to call Frankenstein's monster Frank because
Frank.
he's in the movie way more than he should be.
Yeah.
But when Frank is carrying Frankenstein and really just like running away from the castle with like the mob, with like Gaston's mob behind him, right?
Yeah.
The windmill they run to is conservatively 4.5 miles from the castle.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it cuts immediately. Like you see him run and then he's there. But like that was like a 45-minute jaunt for everybody to get there.
Yes.
I get that Frankenstein's inhumanly strong, so he could do that. That's fine. But like the townspeople should have gotten there and been like, Oh my God! What the fuck? Oh, thank God he stopped at this windmill. What do you think it is? Is it like that?
I need the townspeople running with other townspeople, throwing tiny cups of water on them and cheering. Like
Paige, they're passing the torches like batons. I'm here with you. I get it. I love the bit. But yeah, it's crazy. But guys, this movie starts there.
Yeah,
like there's so many more crazy.
It starts that crazy.
But so guys, I guess what I'm saying, Paige, is this movie is no longer on Netflix as of the 30th of September 2025, if you're listening to this after the revolution.
Sure.
So, like, you got to watch it now. Like, I wouldn't pay to watch this, but if you have Netflix, watch this.
I did because I forgot it was on Netflix.
Yo, Paige, no, you paid to watch this? Why would you do that?
Not only did I pay to watch this, let me tell you some fucked up shit in my life. So first of all, because of travel and the dateline, I technically lived yesterday twice.
It was not a good day to live twice.
It was not a good day to live twice. I woke up to find out that someone in Arkansas had stolen my debit card while I was in Tokyo. And that's the only reason Bank of America flagged it, to find out, because they're like, we're pretty sure you couldn't have gotten to Arkansas. You ordered ramen less than 6 hours ago.
Oh, you weren't in Tokyo, Arkansas?
Right?
The city of Tokyo, Arkansas?
The city of Tokyo, Arkansas. Now, thankfully, Tokyo is living in the year 3000 and everything is tap to pay.
Great.
So I was able to literally like get a digital card so I could get the fuck home.
Yeah.
But that means I got home, I flew at 5 p.m. and then landed at 11 a.m. technically before I left in the same day, the way that works. But that also means I had to like stay up super late and then work today. And when I went to go buy this movie, I realized, oh shit, that's right, someone stole my fucking debit card and now I have to redo all of my fucking subscriptions. So I had to like input a new card to pay to watch this stupid movie that I could have watched on Netflix, because you know what? My brain is addled by the sands of time and it is what it is.
I too like both the video game series Prince of Persia and Days of Our Lives Guilty. So like I really enjoyed the sands of time of all that.
The sands of time. Great inclusion.
I don't know if you picked up on this, but there's like some fat shaming in this movie I thought was way out of hand. And I'll tell you where it is, because it's like, I think really clear. You probably saw it. Like it's when Van Helsing is like fighting with Kate, like they're all fighting the brides the first time they attack the village or whatever. And like Kate's getting carried away and he grabs her legs, and the thing, it can't hold both their weight, Paige. It's too much.
Right.
It's too much for one bride of Dracula or whatever.
Right.
And then we see that same one literally hurl a full-ass cow about 40 yards through a barn.
Through a barn?
I was like, God damn, how heavy is Kate? No, like, what is happening?
I did notice that, and I was like, cow! like 4. But that is also when I looked at the timestamp on the movie and realized that we'd been watching the movie for 35 minutes and full nothing had happened.
Paige, okay, first off, I have to admit something embarrassing. I wrote Cowabunga in my notes, but I was like, I'll never say this. It's fine. It's just for Todd. But you know what?
Cowabunga.
I got to share it with the world because that's the way my stupid brain works. Hashtag Cowabunga, guys. Let's just get into it.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, Paige, at the midpoint of this movie, it seems like it's about to be the end of this movie because like the first sacks of babies go when they're attacking the town or whatever.
Yes.
And then that fails. And I paused it and I was like, oh shit, we're not even quite halfway through the movie yet. And we're already to a point where with a normal movie, this would be the final set piece.
Yes.
And we'd probably be solving all of the issues for the next 25 to 30 minutes, making it a 90-minute movie. Like,
right.
Which that follows like a normal movie structure that everyone's comfortable with.
Sure.
And would have made this a tight 90-minute movie that was gibberish, made no sense, and was fun as shit. But instead, we get this 2-hour, 11-minute version that is, I don't know, the same. It's the same, but longer. It's like, it's so worth watching, though.
Literally the same thing happens.
I know.
Like, we do the baby egg set piece twice.
Yes.
Why?
I'll tell you why, Paige.
This movie has 7 acts.
It does. But I'll tell you why it actually happens, Paige. And it like really, I think, stands as an indictment of our current time.
All right.
Dracula, the first thing he did was kill the only person who knew how to make the the science work.
Right.
What if a lot of babies died because of that, Paige?
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
I know.
We don't need Dracula to head HHS is all I'm saying. Like, a lot of babies gonna die in that movie because of that.
So much. He's like, you're not necessary. I just need the monster. I was like, it's his machine. Like, what?
Yeah, like, just because the machine made the monster doesn't mean the monster know how to make the machine, baby. Like, what are you thinking? But that's,
right.
I get it. He's an idiot. He's a failed son who's been alive for 400 plus years. It's fine. I get it.
Real. Can I also bring up, because this boggled my mind the whole time, the monster, the like creature design on the monster looks so much like Peter Boyle.
Paige, I'm so sorry I have to ask this.
Yes.
Which monster are you talking about? Oh, do you mean Frank?
Yes.
You mean Frankenstein?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Frankenstein's monsters.
I agree. It
Yes.
does look a lot
Frank.
like, especially in the face, Peter Boyle.
Especially in the face.
Yeah.
Which only if you're a young Frankenstein fan, as I am, it just makes you want to see him do putting on the Ritz. Like anytime he's like, I'm a monster with feelings. And I was like, but can you dance? Like that's where I was at for literally this whole movie. And he's trying to give us like useful exposition, and they give him so many monologues that's like the human condition. And you're just like, I can't. This makes no sense in the movie.
If you're going to give gibberish monologues to any character, please don't let it be the one who talks like slow.
Super slow. Give him to the werewolf. I don't know. I like it's fucking. And there's so many times in this movie where I don't think I've seen a movie do this in 20 plus years. Where they get into a jam and they're like, we're trapped. And instead of being like, how'd they get out of there? We just cut to the next day. And they're like, so back at the castle.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It's the best.
What just happened?
Oh, Paige, this is a lore thing, I guess. I guess this movie just did not give a shit about actual Dracula lore. And listen, I'm not an expert. So like,
Sure.
if Dracula can only be killed by a vampire bite in like the original lore, please correct me. Email Paige or whatever. She loves that kind of shit.
No,
but like,
absolutely not.
What is it? Contact us at horrorvirgin.com or whatever.
Info@horrorvirgin.com.
Don't give him the actual one, Paige.
No, that's the one that don't work.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. But Paige, I get that like vampires don't have reflections, but the vampires at the ball at the end, we know they're all vampires already before that reveal.
Right.
Because you only see Kate in the mirror in a room full of like 50 people dancing. So they all have to be vampires, right?
Right.
But like, why can't we see the vampires' clothes? Like, I guess my point is like, at what point, I'm so sorry I'm asking this question.
No, I love this question.
At what point do the clothes become invisible? And listen, because Paige, if it's on, okay, here's why I'm asking, and it's not why you think I'm asking. If it's on touch alone,
Right, sure.
that means we should have got like a 1980s style sex college rom-com about Dracula and Renfield going around touching their co-ed's tops.
Sure.
Like, we should have got a movie like that.
Right.
If that's the, like, how that works. Is that how that works? Kind of like the movie Zapped with Scott Baio. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's kind of like that, but like still as problematic. Like, it definitely wouldn't work today.
Sure.
Nor should it.
No. So the mirror thing is a thing that only exists in some vampire lore, not others. In fact, most modern vampire lore doesn't include it. I think purely because it's difficult to manage. Because reflections are everywhere. I think it's one of those things where, like, you know how some movies just conveniently don't have cell phones? And it's like, that's how they get rid of the cell phone problem?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where I think people who are writing modern vampire stuff are like, oh, fuck the mirrors. Let's just not put it in.
Ah, damn it. The mirror problem. Yeah.
God damn it, the mirrors.
I like mirrors. Yeah. Shit. Okay.
Yeah. To the point where, like, even when I wrote my vampire book, I left mirrors in. Like, she has a reflection. It's like a thing.
Well, yeah, but in a book, it doesn't cost you anything to like not take a reflection out of a mirror or something. Yeah.
Right.
Theater of the mind, Paige.
In previous, every other time I've seen it, the whole thing is missing. And it's not just the clothes. Although I think you're right. I think it should, like, the clothes should be there and the person should be invisible.
Right.
But I think, and I realize what I'm about to say is going to sound full-blown dumb. Just remember that my brain is basically mush.
Cannot wait.
If it's a reflection, maybe it's what the mirror sees, not you being invisible. And I know that sounds crazy, but what I'm saying is that like you have no, and the like reasoning within lore is they don't have souls, so they don't have reflections. So like maybe it's nothing about you that can be seen.
Sure.
I know that's a dumb answer.
Yeah.
But that's the only one I got, man.
I don't think we needed to logically think it out. I think it's just fun to like be like, hey, this was dumb. And it's so fun to think about.
It is fun to think about. It should be, the clothes should be there. I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, either way.
The clothes don't have souls, but they're seen on other people.
Like it's just like a bunch of jewelry dancing around with like dresses on. Yeah,
just hanging.
It'd be hilarious.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to film. But, okay, here's my 2, 3, 4 cents of craziness. When we did Blade and we talked about vampires birthing vampires for roughly an hour.
I have this in my notes. Yes, Paige. Yes. Never would I have been like, oh shit, sacks. They lay sacks? How does that work? Does Dracula walk around and hump the sack? Like, I don't know how it happens. I don't like it. I don't like what I just said, Paige. I'm not enjoying this conversation, but like, it is, how did it happen? Where did the sacks come from?
I don't think he humps the sacks. I think the brides flippity flap up to wherever they're going to lay a sack, squat down and work some shit out.
How do they get fertilized, Paige?
I think they bang it in that mirror realm.
Oh, you mean when he carbonite freezes them against the wall?
Yeah.
Oh
I think
God.
that's their sex, which is not that fun. Go back to regular vampire sex.
Right.
But here's the thing that other than him having a breeding fetish, which like, why?
In today's economy? Come on.
It's bonkers to me because we establish both in this movie and in Dracula lore in general that vampires have the ability to turn people. So why go to all this trouble to birth people or birth more vampires when you could just turn more vampires? The easy way that we all know works.
Yeah. It's like the one thing I know about vampires, Paige.
Right? Yeah. Right? This movie seems like it was made entirely out of bad studio notes.
Someone threw bad studio notes into a bowl, shook it up, and then dumped it on the floor, and they were like, in that order is the story. Do not touch the ground.
Don't touch it. Because, like, the amount of information that they give you as if you're supposed to remember it, that is then either meaningless or just makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. This whole movie, it's crazy.
It sounds like I hated it. And I loved it. I don't think I'll watch it a ton. It's not like a movie I loved and I'll watch a ton. It's a movie I loved, and I'm definitely going to ask people at parties if they've seen it, because then I have 30 minutes of like stuff I need to talk to them about rapidly.
Right away. How do you think the eggs get gushed out?
It's definitely Dracula humping the eggs, right? And he's just like, I just wanted to get a martini, man. I don't know what we're doing.
What we really needed was for him to be like, look, it's the queen, and it's one of the brides with like an ovipositor, just like the alien.
Honestly, that would be one heck of a universal team up. Dracula and the alien Paige. Alien queen, excuse me.
I mean, the brides have fucking predator face.
Well, I mean, they're vampires, Paige. Of course they're going to look like that.
No. I mean, the last one has the like literally vaginal predator face.
Oh, yeah.
That opens up like the predator.
Which I would assume that they all had. They just didn't all go full on predator face.
They just didn't do it. Yeah.
And I guess, is that only the brides? And then is there a connotation to why they need to be able to do that? And let's not maybe get into that. Maybe let's just get into the movie and go through it scene by scene, Paige, as you break down, was that a Todd Dracula hung like a huge ass bat dick joke? Yes. Yes, Paige, it was. I was trying to transition out of it so I didn't have to point out what I was talking about. It's fine, though. We'll move on.
Too late. No, too late. You did. Do you remember in X when they buy that whole log of bologna? That's the size I'm picturing Dracula's dick is now, as she has to unhinge her jaw to deep throat and throw neck at that man.
Why else would that be a requirement, right?
Maybe that's where the eggs are coming out. Anyway, we open on them storming the castle.
This is that Gaston moment where they're like storming the castle, except they're not trying to kill the beast. They're trying to kill science and a guy who could probably literally bring back all of their loved ones.
Yes.
But, you know, because it's science, they want to kill him.
Frankenstein.
Right.
Yes.
Read into that what you will. Yeah.
Yes. And they are led by what I just have in my notes as Wooden Eye from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Was it really that same guy?
I think it's that same guy.
I mean, that would have been around the same time, man. Like, yeah, that could be.
Yeah, I was like, dude was getting work.
He was.
I don't think it's Wooden Eye. I think it's one of the other pirates, but
Fair
I
enough.
couldn't think of his name or whatever. Anyway, we cut into the castle where at first you're like, isn't Van Helsing a vampire one? Why are we at Frankenstein? What's happening? And Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, is like charging the monster up. He's doing his Frankenstein thing. This seems very Frankenstein. And then who should walk in but Dracula and be like, perfect. Now that we know it works, we'll serve my purpose. And Dr. Frankenstein is like, I would never. That's evil. And you're like, what?
How is that more evil than what you just did, I guess? Like, you're technically also a villain. Have you never seen the IP you come from, sir?
What is happening?
Right?
What is happening, right?
Although I could see how someone who's dedicated their life to doing this thing might not see it as an evil thing. So, like, I get it. That's fine.
I guess.
Also, I don't really think what he's doing is evil, actually, now that I think about it. Well, maybe it is because it's, like, without consent.
He robbed graves.
But yeah, like that's the part about it I don't love. I kind of love the scientific nature of finding out how like life and death works.
Sure.
Get on that.
Right. And Dracula, he's like, I'll kill myself before I help you. And Dracula's like, go ahead, bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what are you talking about?
I love when he's like, oh, we don't need you since your machine does it. And like, no, it doesn't. It's just like the tools the guy uses. That's like saying, oh, I have an oven. I can cook everything a professional chef could cook.
Right. Pull the lever, crunk. Like that energy.
Exactly. It's that level of Maha energy that I just respect this movie pointing out as dumb.
It's dumb. But he's like, I'll just kill you. You're here, you're food. My brides are here, they're hungry. And so he bites, and it implies kills Dr. Frankenstein. Now, this movie does not establish the difference between vampires biting people or vampires turning people. It provides no differentiation. So I guess there could have been a version in which Dr. Frankenstein came back as a vampire. We'll never know, because it doesn't happen. Because the monster gets up and is just like, Father! And like grabs him and runs to the windmill.
If we got a shot-for-shot remake of this and the only difference is it's Matt Berry, I'm here for it.
Oh, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Father!
God damn you, Clem Fandango.
Yes. Takes off for the windmill. All of the townspeople surround the windmill, which I'm sure is like moving their water or gristling their mills or whatever. And instead they're just like, burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
So they burn it. The monster falls through the floor. We all assume he's dead. We'll find out later he's not.
It looks like he does. He's got Frankenstein's body wrapped up too.
Right.
So it's like they're both kind of buried here, or so you think.
Right.
But that's the cold open right there, guys. We are not fucking around, but they are kind of fucking around though. They are kind of fucking around with the lore and stuff.
The one thing I did think that was funny was they like run into the windmill and it's just full of absinthe bottles and one Bible.
Yeah.
I'm just like, who's having a wild time in the windmill?
I mean, apparently Christians. I don't know. They got a Bible there.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But Dracula turns into like a wingaling dragon and like flies and burninates the countryside, essentially.
Yeah. He's a little Trogdorish. You're right.
A little Trogdorish.
Yeah.
And at this point in my notes, I'm like, I literally don't remember any of that. And I was like, maybe it'll make the movie make more sense.
It doesn't. It does not. Yeah.
It doesn't. Cut to 1 year later, we cut to France,
Yeah.
where he's chasing down Jekyll and Hyde. Weird, because that's a story that takes place in where? England.
Not in this. It's got to be at Notre Dame Cathedral,
this.
Paige, of course.
You gotta throw him out the giant rose window.
Because they're like fully thinking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are the Hunchback of Notre Dame as well.
Fully.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding out in Notre Dame. But also it sets up, and I will get to a lot of crazy things in fun facts. But this is where, when I started watching this, I was like, was this based on like a series of comic books that are just weird? Because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is, and it's kind of the same way where like they've pulled like Quartermain and a bunch of different people. And this, I was like, is this where Van Helsing's like some sort of, is this like Constantine, but Van Helsing? How true that would turn out to be.
I haven't seen Constantine. Okay, I can't.
Oh,
we gotta
brother.
watch that now. I gotta watch that.
If you want a movie that's as crazy as this, but way more fun and just a better movie in general, we gotta watch Constantine.
All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Do you want to do a month of like angel or devil question mark movies?
It's never the latter. It's always the former.
But he throws him out the top of Notre Dame. He dies. And everyone's like, no! Why? For no good reason.
Right.
Like, they're like, he was a man. I was like, he was a murderer. You guys know he's a murderer.
Okay. You're making it seem like Van Helsing is the hero of the movie, and they are not.
Oh, there's no hero of this movie.
No, Dracula's definitely a villain. I know that. Like, we saw him be kind of villainy.
Sure.
But like Van Helsing. Okay, I'll just say it this way, Paige.
He's Judge, Judy, and Executioner?
Yes, it is the Judge Dreadness of the way he operates that I am not a fan of. No, I mean, it's not that. But he's clearly not a good guy, though, because he's got, like, Paige, red flag, he's got knockout gas at the ready.
Oh,
just
yeah,
in his pocket. Like he's some sort of steampunk Cosby.
He's constantly drugging people.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yes.
Like, why does he have the ability to knock anybody out around him at any time? Like, that was very concerning to me.
Sure.
He can't hit anything he's aiming at. His boss is literally a dude in a velvet red dress that lives under the Vatican.
Yeah.
Like, these are all very, very big red dresses and flags.
Oh, when we get to the Vatican, we have things to talk about. Not since Pope's Exorcist or that other one with the X-Men gear up montage in the basement of the Vatican. What was that one? Pray for the devil.
Yeah.
Not since those. Has there been such a crazy, the Vatican is James Bond's MI6. Like, it's absolute madness.
I loved it. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
It is like every time James Bond goes to see Q, except
Yes.
Q is Carl, which sounds like Q. Like, guys.
I'll burn a fun fact, though.
I don't think you have to burn it. Everybody knows.
No.
Oh, okay.
Carl was originally supposed to be played by Paul Hogan.
What?
That's not a light bomb. This is a light bomb. Like Paul Hogan.
Man, Crocodile Dundee was going to be the comical sidekick in this?
Yes.
Wow. I hate that. I honestly, like, wow.
Right?
I am so mad we did not get that version too. Like, that, there's no way that would not have been an equal amount of train wreck as this.
A werewolf? Arnar.
That's not a metal spike. Here's a metal spike.
That's not a stike. This is a stike.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, fun time, if you watch this on Amazon, it gives you some fun facts. They were supposed to do a TV series after this that was basically Van Helsing going town to town killing monsters.
Like a periodical. Oh, like a Hulk TV show?
More like The Witcher, like modern day Witcher.
Well, like Monster of the Week.
Yeah, Monster of the Week.
Yeah, would love that.
And this movie did so bad, they scrapped all of it. It was like, they were like building sets for it in Romania already. And they were like, shut it down. But I will say, if you like this madness, you'll love The Witcher. Because The Witcher is exactly this kind of crazy.
But way better. Like, way better.
So much better.
Yeah.
And Henry Cavill. And hey, I'm also here for the Hemsworth one. I'm good with both.
We get it, Paige. We know what you're here for.
Yeah.
And here's more evidence that Van Helsing's a bad guy. Because after he, like, grapple hooks through Mr. Hyde
Right.
and, like, does this whole Buster Keaton-ass switcheroo that ends up going through Notre Dame, busting out the rose window like you were talking about.
Yeah, the rose window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that beautiful stained glass window that Andrea Gazzetta would cry if she watched that part of this movie for sure.
Sob.
But like he makes sure that Dr. Hyde comes out so that he can confusingly realize his impending death is going to happen before he smashes the pavement.
Right.
Van Helsing is a monster.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. It's like, yes, I understand there are two people, and Dr. Hyde is the mortal version and is controlled by the other. I get that it's complicated, but we also list out how many people Mr. Jekyll has killed, and it's like, we got to put a stop to this somehow, and it seems the only way is to kill the both of you.
I mean, but I guess, did he have to kill him as Dr. Jekyll? He couldn't kill him as Mr. Hyde?
So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because they're the same, it's kind of Hulk rules a little bit. So if you kill one, they he would turn as he was dying no matter what. There was kind of no avoiding that one.
Well, don't kill him while he's falling. Anyway, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's a crazy-ass movie, but it's just silly.
I just think it's absolutely crazy that multiple times in this movie, Van Helsing kills a monster that is terrorizing a people, and they're like, come on!
Well, okay, I actually do think that would play out that way because they don't know Dr. Jekyll is Mr. Hyde, right? So they think that this big hulking dude is just like an asshole who drank too much but can also like jump from building to building or whatever. And then in the morning, they get this doctor who's just trying to cure them of their ailments.
Right. But then when he does it to the vampires and he kills that one vampire and they're like, damn it! Like, there's no reason for them to be mad. They're like, you killed one!
Paige, the reason they give is not a good one, but it is this.
No, it makes no sense.
Now he's going to come back and take more people.
Right, allegedly.
I mean, he probably would because he comes every month. They take 1 or 2 people a month.
Right.
And how many kids do you guys have to have every year to keep up with that? Actually, I can do that math. I can do that math. Excuse me, not the math. But like, it's just 12 to 24 kids.
Yeah.
That seemed like a pretty small town. Are you popping out 12 to 24 kids every year?
Right.
And is that your stock for the Draculas to drink? Guys.
Yeah, you better open up a tourist attraction and trap people.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
Right?
Come on down to the Ren Fair. Would it be called a Ren Fair? Come on down to the Now Fair. I don't know what you call a Ren Fair back then, Paige. Come and see our maypole.
The Now Fair is the best. Do you love turkey legs and dancing and jousting? Come on down to the Now Fair.
There's literally nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do. The Now Fair is just the mall. Do you like a Wetzel's Pretzels and a half-empty JCPenney? Come on down to the Now Fair.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I'm sorry, this movie's so ridiculous.
Paige, I have a fun fact for you
Go for
about
it.
this scene with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that is it's a CGI Notre Dame. They didn't actually shoot on. They didn't actually destroy the rose stained glass window. It's yeah.
How am I supposed to believe anything else in this movie?
Paige, the CGI is so clearly CGI in this. You could not have thought otherwise.
So bad.
Yeah.
And the last 20 minutes of this movie is all CGI.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this point, Van Helsing's like, I got to get my ass to Rome. And I was like, Rome? Like, why? Because it turns out he is, much like the Warrens, Vatican-approved
Yes.
monster assassin.
Paige, he's not Vatican approved. He is Jesus Christ and Yahweh approved. He is the Archangel Gabriel.
I mean, this is kind of like, so I watched, up except for number 4, because they didn't have it on the plane, all the John Wick films on my flights because I'd never seen any of them before.
What? Oh, great. Yeah.
I couldn't get through the dog thing the first time, and so I just stopped and I didn't.
Yeah, so you watched the first 30 seconds of the first movie and turned it off.
And I was like, I'm fucking out. Yeah.
I get it. I hate that too, but man, it's so satisfying when they get their just desserts.
So I've now watched all the way up through Ballerina.
Nice.
But when they're like, your ticket is punched, and they're like burning crosses into him, it feels like this shit.
Yeah.
He feels like Vatican John Wick a little bit.
Except John Wick can aim.
Right?
I didn't realize Van Helsing was a member of Cobra.
My favorite is like where he getting all these arrows. We'll cover it in just a second when they give it to him. But anyway, he gets to the Vatican.
Yes.
And they have like a secret entrance to an underground Vatican lair. And they're just like, you're supposed to bring him back alive so we can experiment on him. Anyway, here's Q.
Paige, you said that like secret entrance into an underground lair at the Vatican, like they for sure really don't have one of those. They probably have a lot of those
I'm sure.
for security reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. You know how Disneyland has those pop-up portals where security can appear anywhere in the park?
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And hey, if you've never been to a Disney park and don't know this, Disney has portals, the wrong word, trapdoors. Anyway, if something goes down at the park, security is there super fast because they can pop out of secret places in the park, all over the park. And that's a real thing.
There's a group of us online that call ourselves porters that fully believe Disney developed transporter technology, and they're just not sharing it with us, and that's how they get their like staff around the park so fast.
Y'all are too busy finding the different corn dogs and pointing out hidden Mickeys to notice that shit.
Yeah, wake up, sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple. I know that you bought your special popcorn bucket to eat the crab and shrimp popcorn at Tokyo Disney Sea, but you should have been paying attention to where security was.
Isn't that one in Arkansas?
Yeah, that's how they stole my credit card.
Paige, if there was a Tokyo in Arkansas, it'd be called Tokyo.
Tokyo. I did not go to Disney this time. Two of my roommates did, but I did not go. I went to Fabric Town instead.
That seems very you.
And boy, are my arms tired. Tokyo, Arkansas.
Nice.
Why does every recipe I try need 18 ingredients, including a jar of something paste I'll never use again, but will sit in my fridge for 9 months? I just want dinner in the oven, fast. That's why I love Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals. They send you fresh ingredients that are already chopped. All you do is put it all together and bake. That's it. No chopping, no weird leftovers, just delicious, easy-to-make meals. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Wherever you go, whatever they get into, from chill time to everyday adventures, protect your dog from parasites with Credelio Quattro. For full safety information, side effects, and warnings, visit CredeliaQuattroLabel.com. Consult your vet or call 1-888-545-5973. Ask your vet for Credelio Quattro and visit QuattroDog.com.
Anyway, they get downstairs where it is literally for the next 20 minutes becomes a James Bond movie.
It is.
Where they're just like, James, you're going to need this special suit and chew this gum. It can be an explosive whenever you want, and this pen delivers poison. Like, it's that.
I also love GoldenEye. Yeah.
Right? I wish Kate Beckinsale had killed someone with her thighs. But in this one, it's like, here's a crucifix. That's a crucifix. And a stake. That is also a stake. And like, he's just going through. And then he gets to one and he's like, what is this? An explosion that creates the same light as the sun. Are we going to need it? I don't know. Bring it anyway. Fucking nuts.
It's also crazy that Carl fully knows what a vampire is and can't think of a better use for a thing that literally creates sunlight at any point. Like, bro.
But sunlight seems to not really kill adult vampires, only baby vampires, because they're out, and as long as there's cloud cover, they're fine.
Paige, I wrote that in my notes too, and I was like, oh, I guess they can't come out in the day as long as it's like cloudy with a chance of plot holes.
Yep.
Like, what is this?
It's cloudy with a chance of plot holes. You nailed it.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite is that he gives him a crossbow that is essentially like a crossbow with a bump stock.
Yeah.
Like it's an automatic. It's like if an AK-47 was a crossbow, but the amount of arrows you'd need to have on your person to make that effective at all.
I think in the first fight alone, Paige, he shoots 1,000 arrows.
Yeah.
No joke. 1,000 arrows.
And he's got like a spinning arrow stock.
Yeah, there's like a cylinder that spins. It's like the clip, right? It's like a chain gun clip. And there's, 20 arrows in one. We see Carl throw him a reload at one point.
That's the only time.
I know. It is the only time he ever reloads.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, yeah, we know how it works. We're just not going to make him show you every time that he's reloading or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what it is for sure.
We then cut to, they are giving him this like explanation of like, your mission, should you choose to accept it, 007, is to basically go find this brother and sister who are the last in a long family line of people who have vowed to kill Dracula. And the bloodline won't rest till they do. We will later find out they are related to Dracula in a way that is not explained and does not make sense.
It's like their ancestor from 400 years ago, Paige.
Yeah. No, I know, but it's still dumb. It is not done well. Dracula's basically their great uncle.
Yes, he's like the second son.
Right.
And I say this as a third son. We don't all come out right.
He came out the butt. He was, fun fact, born as a cup. I guess that's a romancing the pot joke.
Yeah, that is a Chip from Beauty and the Beast joke.
Can I just, someone sent me
oh God,
a DM that they're like, what if time just works differently at the castle and Chip was already a little boy and like all this stuff? And I was like, nope. Born as a cup.
Yeah, she plopped him out her steeper, Paige.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only thing that makes sense. Anyway, back to things that don't make sense. This movie. We cut to that brother and sister hunting a werewolf.
Oh.
Why? Big old question mark. Because I guess Dracula sends wolves to do his bidding.
Yes, so Dracula uses werewolves because they're the only thing that could kill him. Explain that to me, but don't actually explain it to me because it would be bonkers. But yes, they have spent 2 days digging a hole and then putting a big ass post in the hole and then filling the hole just enough so it looks like it's got like regular coverage around the post.
Right.
Like they're building a trap more or less. And then they strap her brother to it.
And and the post is in the hole, and the hole's in the ground, and the werewolf goes all around and around, and the werewolf goes all around.
They take 2 days building this trap with the net and the cage and the hole and the post and tying him to it. And the pulley system to like pull him up out of the way. And they pull him up out of the way and they get him. Everyone starts shooting at the werewolf and they don't all have silver bullets already.
Right.
Like, it's insane to me. They spent 2 days putting this thing together and weren't like, maybe we should give everyone silver bullets. Maybe everyone gets silver bullets for this specific like werewolf hunting mission.
Right. And it's vampire, so I'm gonna bring up True Blood. Fucking deal with it. True Blood had a vampire werewolf storyline that actually fucking fucks. It's really interesting where one vampire controls like a team of werewolves by feeding them vampire blood. So they end up being like super powered werewolves. But werewolves can't really kill vampires, at least not easily in that world. Like, unless they're like supercharged and it's a weak vampire. It's like a whole thing. They fight a lot. Not important. But this one, you brought this up. In this movie, in this lore, werewolves are literally the only thing that can kill Dracula.
Yeah.
And I guess he's like, keep your enemies close. And then he's like, I've got this cure, but it's stored in this weird jar that no one can get to. Not handy when I could use it.
Paige, it was that moment that I realized that Igor, who we haven't met yet, or I guess we did technically because he worked for Frankenstein first and then he switched sides.
Right.
But like,
played by Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, but like Igor must be like the Dwight of Dracula's The Office because there's no reason why they would have put that in just like a vat of Jell-O like that. It's crazy.
Right.
There's no reason for that.
It's nuts.
And I do think Dracula has real like, I think I'm Jim energy.
Maybe.
He's 50, still wearing an earring, looking like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, but like now, but like today, not like at the time, but like today now.
He really did.
Yeah.
The ball definitely looks like the music video for Helena, 100%.
Yes.
But my favorite thing is at one point Dracula gets burned in the face, and then his hair curl and the earring grow back. So I guess maybe it's whatever clothes and stuff you had on your person when you turned into a Dracula. Anyway, they fight in this werewolf and they lose. And in the process, the werewolf tackles Prince Valken over the cliff. So we think he's dead. And so Princess Anna is just like, I guess I'm the last one. Time to go home and gear up.
Yeah.
However, we cut back to the gear up montage because it's still happening.
For some reason. Back to the gear up montage where they give Van Helsing like a piece of parchment. They're like, we don't know what this is from, but he wouldn't have given it to us unless it was important. Turns out the guy that gave it to them was the one guy who needed it to like get into the door. It makes no sense that he brought it to Rome. He had to have known where it was from. Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing in this movie.
100%. Yeah.
But then also they reveal that Van Helsing's ring has the same insignia that like Dracula's thing has.
Yeah. Do you know why, Paige? Do you know why?
Because he stole that ring off him.
Oh, I thought it was because what? No, they never explain it. Like the writer never even knows why he has a ring like that.
Yeah. Well, no, they only explain it at the very end where Dracula's like, and I want my ring back.
Yeah.
And he's got the missing finger. So it implies in the previous battle, the finger got lost and Van Helsing stole the ring.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, why did he take it? Like, there's no reason for him to have taken it.
Nope, there's not. No, you're absolutely right. There is no reason for him to have taken it. There's also, all of this leads to an idea where maybe Van Helsing is a vampire, which would be way more interesting, but instead, no.
Yeah, he's not. I thought it actually meant that like Dracula was a celestial being as well, because Gabriel is. But he's not. We find out where Dracula comes from, and it's not that. But at that point in the movie, I was like, wait, are they saying that like they're both fallen angels? Because like this movie be doing crazy stuff, and like I could see it. I could see this movie doing this.
Right. And this is our first hint that Van Helsing is the fallen angel Gabriel.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts. Because he remembers old battles and stuff. So he is ageless, but we don't know why. And he's got the ring and none of it makes sense. Anyway, so they've got the liquid light bomb. They've got all the stuff. And he's like, Carl, you're coming with me. And he's like, what? No, I'm not a field man. Basically like Simon Pegg in Mission Impossible.
Yes.
But he goes anyway. we cut to them trying to kill the werewolf because we like cut back and forth between it like 2 or 3 times. It's fucking nonsense. They fail. That prince dies.
Well, that prince doesn't die. He becomes a werewolf.
He goes off the cliff.
Yeah.
We think he dies, right?
Yeah.
We cut to Transylvania, which they, I think is one town.
They definitely think it's one town.
As opposed to like a region.
Yeah.
They're like, Transylvania, Arkansas, right next to Tokyo.
Oh, I thought you meant Transylvania.
Transylvania. But they show up and they're like, we don't take kindly to strangers around here, which they should. Just let the Draculas eat the strangers, but whatever.
Foolproof plan.
And they're like, give us your weapons. And they're like, no, just like Moonvest.
I did think it was really funny that she was like, we don't need your help. And it is their meet cute, honestly, because this movie is also a romantic comedy.
Right.
But she's like, I don't need your help. And he goes, are you sure? And then he starts shooting his arrow like behind her because
the brides are coming.
Yeah, the brides are flying in. So he's shooting his auto magic crossbow. I don't know what else to call it. It isn't automatic, but it's also automagic because it just like works for no reason. He says it's gas powered, Paige, and I was like, I don't think farts can do that, bro.
How much is he eating?
They didn't have like the technology to make gas do that, bro.
Yeah, no, somebody cut farts over the sound of every arrow. That's what I want. Anyway, thus begins a fight scene with the brides in the town square.
That goes on for 90 ass minutes, it feels like.
Oh my God. It goes on for so long. At this point, they kind of like wrap up the fight scene because he dips the crossbow in holy water and manages to kill one of the brides.
Paige, I have to point this out.
Yes.
Dipping the front of the crossbow in holy water wouldn't do anything because that's not where the arrows are.
Right.
The arrows are in the cylinder clip that's under it.
Right.
So it's just like the outside of the front that the arrows never touch that's shooting that has the holy water on it.
At best, the one arrow that's sticking out might have holy water on it. At best.
I think that's a lot to give them. That's a lot of credit to give them, honestly. This movie is just fucking around.
It's bonkers. But by the time they shoot that lady and cowabunga a cow through a barn.
Cowabunga, baby. This is the cowabunga scene. You're right. Yeah.
By the time they wrap all that up, it's been 35 minutes and fully what has happened in this movie other than we killed 2 different characters that seem to have no purpose in the film.
Right.
And then have fake killed 2 other characters that will go on to have a purpose.
It's Endgame, Paige. We're just starting with Endgame in this verse.
It is Endgame. It just makes me mildly upset because I like The Mummy so much. And this is like, that's part of how Stephen Sommers got to do this movie.
Do you mean the Tom Cruise Mummy?
No, of course not.
No, I know.
I wouldn't dare.
I know.
They go back to what allegedly used to be Dracula's house and is their family castle.
Yeah, it's Castle Transylvania or whatever.
Yeah, Castle Transylvania, and they're just walking around like, we've been trying to kill him. My dad looked all over this house. We couldn't find it. You're the only person who's killed a vampire in 100 years, but now like more vampires are going to come. You know, so people are salty, I guess.
Oh, so you're talking about like Van Helsing in the town.
Right.
But like when they get back to when the brides get back to the Transylvania castle or whatever.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, yeah. We got to talk about it.
So we get back, that's literally the next scene because the brides get back to Castle Frankenstein, which is where Dracula is. I know this is confusing.
That's right.
It's because it's stupid. But they get back to Castle Frankenstein and they're mourning that one of them has died. Now, my favorite thing in this movie is anytime they cut to the brides just on the side of a scene, they're always posed as if they're like spooky and ready to attack somebody.
Yeah.
And they're like, ah, the whole time. Where they're like sexy and scary. You hate the camera. You want to bite it. Sexy, scary. It's nuts.
This whole scene's insane, Paige, because they're like walking around on the ceiling like it's a Lionel Richie music video,
right,
while talking about how one of the brides has died. And then they're shocked that he's not really sad about it. He's like, I don't even have a heart.
He don't give a care.
Like, I can't feel anything.
Wait, that's okay, but that's after he unfreezes from his coffin.
Well, he wakes up from his coffin screaming her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care. I don't know. I don't care at all. You can't prove I cared. But then they're just like, no. And he's like, you know what'll make me feel better? Let's make some more egg sacs. And they're like,
Unhinge those mandibles. Paige, stop. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Anyway, he like carbonite freezes them into a wall where it's implied that they have a threesome.
While frozen, that's the worst threesome ever.
I know, right? Tough to switch positions. Anyway, we cut back to the Van Helsing princess and Carl house where he has drugged her and she is asleep. And she wakes up in the dark to find a werewolf is in the house hunting her.
Yeah.
And then Van Helsing pops out and basically lunges at the werewolf, shoots at it, and it jumps off into the night. But she has already realized that it is her brother.
Yeah.
And Van Helsing is like, I knew that. And you're like, fucking how? There's no way.
He is the Archangel Gabriel, Paige. He could do anything, he's like literally, he's the left hand of God.
Right. But at this point, Van Helsing goes out to try and find him, runs into our Pirates of the Caribbean friend who's like, oh, I'm just digging your grave because I know you're going to die. And then he almost kills him, I would assume to then turn over to the vampires. But before he can do that, the Wolfman lunges, kills that guy, runs off into the night.
Can I just say this is my favorite kill of the entire movie?
Yes.
Because it is like this guy really proven to us, the viewer, that he needs to die.
Right.
You know, he was about to kill the quote hero of the movie, although see my thoughts on his heroism, from earlier.
Sure.
But then the werewolf runs. Van Helsing jumps out of the way. This guy gets crushed and destroyed by the werewolf, and he falls down into the grave. And then his shovel lands and his hat lands on it spinning.
Yes.
It's my favorite
Perfect.
pratfall of a death in this movie. I loved it.
Directly into the grave he just dug.
Yes. It was perfect.
But as the werewolf is running off, Anna runs up and she's like, no, it's my brother and Dracula has a cure. And they're like, why would Dracula have a cure? And she's like, I don't know. And they're just like, let's go find your brother then. And maybe we'll find Dracula along the way, even though we have no... Other than what we will find out later, there's no indication that her brother's working with Dracula.
Yeah, it does seem like Dracula has some control over werewolves.
Just in general?
On some level. Yeah, because it does seem like before he completely turns, he being her brother, because we see him in that time period and then he completely turns. Before he completely turns, he does seem to have some control over doing things that Dracula wants him to do, but it does seem like he has to come when called, which is another thing that you have mentioned about other Draculas.
Vampires. Yeah. But only the ones you've made.
Right.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm still on the record as saying that is literally world breaking lore. It's so dumb to me, but whatever. I get that it's a thing and I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, but you would just kill that person 100% of the time, or you would, whatever. That would never last long term.
I mean, I would say in this case, regardless of if you think it's world-breaking lore for vampires, right?
Right.
In this case, he didn't make him a werewolf. The other werewolf bit him, so even that shouldn't apply.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Why?
Why are we even talking? This movie, we shouldn't even be talking about this kind of stuff because of course it doesn't matter. It's this movie. They're just doing whatever they wanted.
They're doing bits.
Yeah.
But they're going to go after her brother. They track him basically to Castle Frankenstein. And she's like, oh, weird. The guy who lived here died a year ago, but I don't know why Dracula would be here. But of course, they go up into the lab. And what we find out is that Dracula is trying to use her brother with Frankenstein blood to power the machine. Now, we got to talk about this because the movie hinges on it and it makes so little sense that it is painful, because the implication is you need a body to conduct electricity to shock the eggs to life. Are there a bunch of things that conduct electricity better than bodies? Yes. Why a body? Never explained. Never explained. But the reason they're trying to test this is because they're like, well, he's werewolf blood, so maybe he won't die in the process.
Right.
Because his dad died
in
the process. And then eventually that's why they want Frankenstein's monster, because he's already dead.
That dude's like made of electricity, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense why they need bodies to do this at all. If anything, they should be putting an egg sack up there and having the egg sack get struck by lightning, because that's how the Frankenstein monster machine works.
Yeah.
In theory.
It's almost like maybe you shouldn't kill the person who knows how to keep the babies alive, you moron.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. But so thus ensues the halfway point of the movie that you would think is the end of the movie, because they infiltrate the castle. They run into all of the tiny phantasm minions who both look and sound like phantasm minions. And she's like, those are his minions. Kill them if you can, because they're evil also. But they are fully just the like Jawas from the Phantasm.
Yeah.
100%.
We see one of them like riding down a wire on like a hand bike.
Yes.
Like it's like Mad Max at one point. I was like, what is this movie even doing? Is Dracula like a electrical Wonka at the end of this movie? Like he's got like Oompa Loompas around and stuff. It's crazy.
He's the tall man. That's why he's got the mirrors instead of the like pylons. Boy! Like,
you mean the tuning forks? Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's why this movie doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be dream logic.
If Freddy Krueger came out of the mirror at the end, I'd have been like, oh, well played, guys. New line, did it again.
Anyway, as they're walking through the castle, they get a real Aliens moment of like all the eggs and they're all on the walls and whatever.
Yeah.
And Van Helsing starts kind of like digging through one of the sacks and is like, oh, this is what the babies look like. But while they're doing that, they're electrocuting her brother, which does bring the babies to life. However, all the babies launch. They go to the town. They're like killing the town. Everyone's trying to like shoot at them, but they're like carrying people off. Meanwhile, they make their way up to the lab. She gets her brother off the machine, and that's when the vampires start to die. So I'm like, do they have to keep somebody electrocuted on the machine to keep them alive forever, like indefinitely?
Paige, I can't answer your question because, again, they killed the only guy who knew how to keep the babies alive in the first 5 minutes of this movie. It's like very prophetic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did also want to point out that when Van Helsing touches the first sack,
Yeah.
that baby comes alive before the electricity starts.
Yes.
So they don't need to do any of this.
Right.
They just need to touch a sack every now and then. Like, guys, be better parents, Dracula and your brides. Jesus.
Hey, ladies, touch the sack every now and again.
Yeah, guys, don't ignore the sack. That's how you get the babies out. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. But then he tries to stake Dracula with a silver stake. I'm like, it's supposed to be wood. Everyone knows this. But he's like, that doesn't work on me. Nothing kills me. Don't you remember from 300 to 400 years ago, the last time we fought? And he's like, whatever. I don't have time to tell you about it now. And then just like bounces.
Yeah.
And he melts a crucifix. And he's like, here's the time I was like murdered or whatever. But we don't have any other information about it. He's just like, we've known each other in the past. Meanwhile, at the town, all the vampire babies start exploding. They don't survive. And he's just like, no. And at this point, Anna and Van Helsing are just like running. We never address how Van Helsing got away from Dracula, who they were just standing and having a conversation.
They were like, yeah, about to fight. Yeah.
Now he's just gone.
Right.
And Van Helsing is just like, we've overstayed our welcome. Time to get out of the castle. And you're like, what? And then the Wolfman chases and falls into the ocean and maybe died. Maybe not. Probably not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. But we cut to the town where Carl the friar has managed to kill a vampire baby and trick a lady into bedtimes with him. She seems super into it, so we're going to call it even.
When you say trick, what do you mean? I feel like she was super. He had just saved her life.
She was into it. She was into it. Yeah. No, not trick so much as she's like, I'll give you anything. And he's like, what about this? And she's like, all right.
She was like, trick or treat, and I got the treat. You know what I'm saying,
That's what's up. That's what's up. But we cut to them like walking through the forest, and she's like, do you think we haven't tried staking and everything before? We've tried all of it. We don't know what could kill him. And then out of nowhere, Van Helsing is like, want some absinthe? And I was like, were those all his bottles in the windmill?
Yeah, they were.
Who's to say? But they find her brother, and she's like, he's not my brother anymore. And he basically dies because he's fallen out. It's unclear. He was maybe on fire at one point.
He does die. And it's like, Paige, this movie is like effing around to the point where I would not have been shocked if he had been like, forgive me. Because those are technically his last words in the movie.
Yeah.
But if then she started like smelling a fart and him just saying, silent but deadly, and then just dying.
It's worse closer to the full moon.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean my butt.
Right? Because the movie's just messing around to that level. It's like messing around too much.
Yes.
But that's not what happens. He just says, forgive me, and dies.
He dies. They collapse into a weird bat cave.
Yeah.
Yep. Meanwhile, we cut back to the castle where Carl has fallen asleep with that lady. And as he wakes up, he accidentally flips a secret wall around and is like, oh, only a werewolf can kill Dracula. Weird. And like, okay.
Yeah.
We also know that like in the fight with her brother, allegedly Van Helsing got bit. We didn't see it. We see the wound.
We do, yeah.
But like he got bit, whatever.
He definitely got bit. And angels, as we all know, can turn into lichens. Like we all know that's a part of angel lore.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's in every werewolf story.
It's in the Bible, Paige. They're angels. He's Angel Gabriel.
That's what the Nephilim is. Anyway, while they're down below, they run into Frankenstein's monster who's like, you've been fucking bit. And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong, but if they find me, they're going to use me to power me up and power up all those babies. And at this point, I looked at the time on the movie and I was like, how is there an hour of this movie left?
There's so much time left. Yeah. There's honestly, it's a lot of action. Like there's not a ton of story from this point on, honestly. It's just a lot of long fights and really drawn out nothing fights.
Yeah.
But I guess it's that and them putting way too much like faith in a painting this guy just found and read.
Right.
Because like there's no guarantee that that's actually going to work.
Right.
That would be like me reading a poster that says like some slogan and me taking that slogan and being like, oh, if I do that thing, it'll work.
Right.
Just do it. Okay, great.
Just do it. But we cut to essentially Frankenstein's monster tells them what's up and they're like, well, we got to get you to Rome. Dumb. So then we have like a carriage chase that takes 20 fucking minutes of like, it looks like they're in this one carriage and then the brides descend. That carriage goes over a cliff. You're like, oh my God, did they die? No, there's a second carriage. He jumps to the second carriage. It catches on fire.
Paige, I have to correct you on a few things.
Sure.
Because it's insane.
It's crazy.
They don't drive a carriage off a cliff. What happens is the bridge is out. So Van Helsing, of course, like any good Duke boy from Transylvania, Arkansas,
right,
just jumps the bridge with a carriage that is being carried by 6 horses. Like there's no way those horses are making that jump
never
by themselves, let alone strapped to a carriage. So they do, of course, make it because it's Fast and the Furious Van Helsing or whatever.
Right,
but the carriage doesn't make it because the carriage falls and they barely make it onto the bridge and they get disconnected and that carriage falls down, which I think was the trap, which is an insane thing.
Yes, because it falls and explodes stakes, which kills one of the brides.
Yes, and as we're following that action and that death, I guess, those 6 horses strap on a new carriage and pick up Anna and Frank in like 20 seconds. There's no way you're wrangling 6 horses who have just been through the scariest jump of their life onto a new carriage. And then where did Anna and Frank come from?
It looked like there was a completely separate carriage with a complete separate set of horses riding alongside.
It's the same 6 horses. If not, what happened to the other 6 horses?
So again, it is madness and bonkers.
I'm just saying something's going on and the government's not telling us the truth because like, what happened to the horses?
Absolutely.
What happened to the horses, Paige? Cowabunga!
Kibono. So the way I interpreted what I saw with my eyes, which is not necessarily correct because this movie is bonkers.
It is
that the first 6 horses make the jump.
They do. I watched that.
But somehow on a separate road that seems to be parallel to the one they're on.
Right.
Through the woods.
Where the bridge on that one isn't out, I guess.
And so he's like riding on 6 horses and then jumps from those 6 to the other carriage that somehow ends up on fire. How? ? And then those first 6 horses, I guess, are just free?
I don't know that they're free. I think they're stuck together like sea turtles that have got their heads stuck in 6 little rings that come on, 6 packs.
Yeah.
That's a really dark way to think about it, but they are stuck together. Yeah.
Not wrong. I also love that as they're gearing up for this race, she's like, nothing's faster than horses, not even a werewolf. And I'm like, what?
So what you're saying is werewolves are supernatural. They're huge wolves and they run at less than 1 horsepower?
Right?
I doubt it, ma'am.
Yeah, same. But they do end up exploding that second carriage and they all survive it and wake up in the woods.
Yeah, they do.
Where the bride doesn't kill her, just like carries her off to the castle because there's a weird extra plot that's about to happen.
It's because Dracula really wants to get up in Anna's neck.
Yeah.
And then he wants to freeze her in carbonite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so she's gone. The other one's like, wake up in the woods, and the bride comes back and is like, trade ya, I'll give you Anna if you give us the Frankenstein monster. Meanwhile, we can meet here in Budapest at this fancy ball where there's a ton of people. See ya. Bye.
We'll be the one with all the mirrors.
Yeah. We'll make sure there's plenty of mirrors. And at this point, they're also like, bro, you've also been bit by a werewolf, so you got werewolf blood. And there's this ball, and you can't trust Dracula because it's Dracula. But we cut to the ball.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they do stash Frankenstein's monster in a graveyard, and they think he's safe, but it turns out Igor was hiding in one of the graves. How? Who's to say?
I mean, not this movie.
Those scenes are lost. But we cut to the ball, and it's like so many long shots of like, look at this fancy ball and all of this opulence before she eventually spin dances past a mirror and it's all vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no clothes. There's no clothes.
No clothes.
Except for on Kate, because she's not a vampire yet. But I guess my question is now, if he had been touching her clothes, would she have shown up naked? I don't know. Is it on touch? I don't understand the clothing rule with the invisibility mirror thing. I don't know.
I don't think it's touch. I do think it'd be cooler if it was just clothes, but I feel like that's more of a ghost thing.
I mean, it is. You're not wrong.
Anyway, who should enter on the trapeze with Van Helsing?
Only in this movie could you say a sentence that sounds like it belongs only in Cirque du Soleil.
Right? Except he does trapeze through and then throws like a Ryobi angle grinder down to try and like...
Which we've seen his metal fidget spinners many times at this point.
Yeah.
There's no technology currently available in 1887 that could make the motor spin that fast
right
all the time. Like they don't have like power saws, which is essentially what that is.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. It looks like an angle grinder.
Yes, it is.
But, and again, this is Igor showed up. He has the monster, which I realized I said Kevin O'Connell earlier. It's Kevin O'Connor.
Oh, I must have heard you incorrectly.
Whatevs. Anyway, they've got the monster in the boat. Meanwhile, they use the light bomb to kill all the vampires in the ball.
Right.
Great. And then they end up caged off in the moat. So the monster is headed towards wherever Dracula's lair is, and they're shit out of luck. Meanwhile, Van Helsing is starting to become a werewolf. Hot.
Yeah, because he got bit. Of course you think it's hot. Of course. Of course, Paige.
Anyway, they come back to their castle, and they're like, where could Dracula's lair be? Oh, wait, we exactly have the missing parchment for this thing. And we got this missing parchment from your dad who was looking for this stuff. So why didn't he have it? And this makes no sense.
Paige, when we first see Kate Beckinsale's Cribs episode in the very beginning, when she's like walking him through her house and she's like, that's the painting my dad used to stand out and stare looking for his hideout or whatever. Also, it's not a painting, it's a map. Like, it drove me crazy that she called it a painting. And then Van Helsing calls it a painting later. I'm like, that's a map.
It's a map.
It might be a painting of a map, but it's a map. It's a map painting at least. Anyway, I was like, oh, damn, her dad was a stone cold idiot.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't open the door for years. And Carl and Van opened the door in 30 seconds.
Yeah, because they're like, all right, this thing. They open the door. It's a mirror.
Paige, the look of disappointment on their face is exactly the same as Tai Lung's in Kung Fu Panda when he realizes what the dragon scroll is. And I get it. I'd be disappointed too.
It has been so long since I've seen Kung Fu Panda, and the main thing I remember is him accidentally knocking over the vase of the ancestors and trying to scoot them, and every time he scoots them, just, oh.
Paige, I thought for like 2 seconds that this movie was trying to make a point that like, no, Van Helsing, you're the Dracula. But no, it's not a mirror. It's like a portal to the other castle where Dracula's hideout is.
Right, exactly. But this is also where we get all of the exposition of like Dracula is your great uncle. And I guess his dad didn't like him. It's unclear as to why he became a Dracula, other than he was murdered by, we will find out, Van Helsing, Angel Gabriel.
Yes.
And then made a deal with the devil to extend his life as Dracula. And that's why your family has to kill him. Makes sense? No? Fine.
Paige, but that is what sends them on the rabbit trail to find the mirror.
Right.
Well, the mirror portal behind the painting. Now I'm calling it a painting.
Yeah. They get all of it from one painting.
Yes.
They're just like, it's this. Yeah. But so they cross into like an ice portal, a completely different dimension, real Fortress of Solitude shit. And that's where everyone else is. The monster, everybody is there trying to redo the baby thing that we've already watched them do once.
They're going to ring the bell twice, guys. It's a famous screenwriting technique. Ring that bell twice.
Oh.
You don't do that. It's a joke. Don't do that.
You don't. A hat on a hat. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But they get to the castle and Van Helsing's like, I got this. I'll get us in. And just Wolf jumps them inside because now he basically has wolf powers, whether he's wolfed out or not.
Right.
And there's fucking tons of eggs. He throws another angle grinder at somebody.
It's Igor. He throws it at Igor because he's going to get Igor. The plan is insane, but it requires Igor's assistance, right? Because Kate Beckinsale and Carl have to go get the, I don't know, Wolfsbane potion or whatever is going to turn him not into a full werewolf, right? And then he's going to go kill Dracula.
Right.
So between the chime of midnight where he becomes a werewolf, he has to both kill Dracula and get this antidote put in his body.
Right.
And of course that works.
Well, and I also he's like, don't be late, but if you're late, stake me. But they make out for a second.
Yeah, him and Carl kiss so passionately. It's great. It's him and Anna. Of course it's him and Anna.
Right.
And there's been no real chemistry or moments where it's just them having a quiet moment together to build any kind of chemistry. You're just like, wait, why are you kissing her?
Right.
You're an angel, sir. You don't even have a dick. You're like a Ken doll down there.
Right.
You're the angel Gabriel. Have you never read the Nag Hammadi scroll? Bro, come on.
They go their separate ways. He goes to kill Dracula. They go to try and find the syringe. They run into one of the brides and we get a lady fight.
Yes.
It's boring.
And this lady fight goes on for a very long time.
Yeah, and with not much accomplished or said or done except for her having predator face. And they're very clearly mismatched. That vampire bride could kill her at any time. And I do love that the movie thinks it's being smart later where they're like, next time just kill me instead of talking about it. And I'm like, no, you movie. Next time kill somebody and stop talking about it. That went on for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was a studio note he was mad about, so he wrote into the movie.
Yeah, I mean, fucking. Anyway, Carl has the syringe. He's running to the tower and she kind of swings out of the lady fight. He tosses her the syringe. She magically catches it, but still ends up in the lady fight, but then manages to stake the bride. All of this while on the other side, they're fighting with Dracula versus Van Helsing, who is wolfing in and out.
Yeah, because it's not quite midnight yet, right? So he's going in and out of the werewolf state.
Right.
And I got to point this out, Paige, because it's just one of those things that's so world-breakingly crazy dumb to me that I kind of love.
Yes.
So Carl is running from Igor on a bridge outside of the castle that is conservatively, I don't know, a mile long, and has zero supports under it.
Yep.
There's no support holding the bridge in place at all.
Nothing.
It is just floating there. And it is so funny to me that they just it's fine. We don't have to animate that. No one's going to care. And Paige, they did not care. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. But while this is all happening, they're also zapping the monster who's bringing the babies to life. But Van Helsing has managed to get him mostly out. So that he can at least finally free himself, but the babies are live. He's now swinging. He's stuck on the bridge. Carl frees him. He goes to fight the lady vampire. It's so confusing and nonsense and not fun to watch and just not anything. It's rough.
And honestly, there is more Tarzan swinging in this movie than I think in the Tarzan movie.
Right.
It's so Tarzan heavy. It's honestly, so the bridge giving out, which does happen.
Right.
And and the Tarzan swinging is very Indiana Jones 4.
Oh, yeah, and not in a good way.
No, not in a good way at all.
And around the same time, like, only a few years difference between the two.
Yeah, it's in the kind of way that causes you to argue with your friends about what aliens are.
Right, yes.
Wait, are they just interdimensional beings or are they aliens? I'm not sure that that's a different distinction, Mom.
It can be.
Okay. I'm not having the... Okay. What is this, 2008 or whenever that movie came out?
Look, I'm just saying, like maybe if they're interdimensional, the question is not if they're extraterrestrials, unless they're extra dimensionals, and that opens the door for a lot of things like big feet. Anyway, we can't get into this right now.
No, we cannot.
But he manages to kill Dracula by kind of slashing and biting his throat.
Yes.
Seems too simple, but that is what happens.
He literally just bites his throat, and it does kill him. Like, that is how, if a wolf bit your throat, you would die. He just, like, for whatever reason, Dracula cannot be healed from a werewolf bite, and so he gives him a mortal bite, so he dies. That's the way I read it, at least.
Yes.
I mean, I also thought he could have, like, just killed him with his hands, and it would have killed him,
Who knows? But he does bite him. But now they've gotten there with the serum, but he's fully wolfed out, so he attacks Anna, but she does manage to stab him. Just as Carl's about to stake him, he turns back into a human, but Anna has died at his hands.
Yeah, Van Helsing kills the love of his life.
Yes. And this is also how we, in the process, in this fight and the talking with Dracula, is how we have learned that he was the angel Gabriel turned werewolf to kill Dracula.
The famous Dracula story, guy. This is how he dies in the books, right? Like, this is exactly what Bram Stoker wrote, right?
Right.
Because that's how you say his name.
Yeah. And I fully thought that they were going to hey, strap Anna into the machine. Let's see what's good. But no, they don't. They put her on a funeral pyre and burn her. And then Frankenstein's monster sails away on a raft. We cut back to the funeral pyre and we get a Star Wars ass Force ghosts in the sky of like her and her brother and her dad. And that's the movie.
I thought it was wild that right at the end they had Kate Beckinsale say, "The lore, you take it with you, Paige."
You take it with you.
Just like in Ghost.
I thought it was wild that the very first credit is written and directed by Stephen Sommers in memory of my dad.
Oh, it broke my heart. But Paige, having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about the cinematic 2004 masterpiece, Van Helsing?
When I found out that this had won listener request, I texted you, that movie is awful.
Yeah.
Because I knew we'd have a good time talking about it. I did not even remember it being this bad. And like, it's so much worse than I remember. It makes so little sense. Like, it's like when a drunk person tries to tell you a story is how this movie plays out.
Okay. But just like Wolverine doing an episode of Drunk History, and this is the like act out we get, right?
100%.
And they got Gerald Way to play Dracula.
Right, 100%.
But Paige, I kind of agree. I think this movie is just fucking around a little bit too much, which is saying something for me because I love movies that just be doing that. But I do think I'll watch it again. Like, I would probably watch this again. I want to make my friends watch it. It is like that. It's like a remember me kind of movie.
It is bonkers.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be way more inclined to watch it more if it was 90 minutes.
Oh, yes.
The fact that it's so long is what keeps me from forcing it on people all the time. Because I have forced multiple people to watch Pope's Exorcist, which is like 90 minutes of batshittery kind of like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the extra hour on it that just makes it a slog, man. It's so rough to get through.
Yeah. And this is like after Wolverine. Like, and they had some big names in this. Like, it's amazing to me that this script got approved. I mean, whatever. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
Sure.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Van Helsing, fun facts. So, according to Stephen Sommers, he deliberately chose to avoid the style of werewolf transformations that he'd seen in other movies, where they would grow hair as part of the change. Instead, to have the character rip off skin to reveal the werewolf from underneath.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Kind of goes with the idea that the beast comes from within. I don't hate that. I actually think that's kind of a cool concept.
I don't hate it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of look like he's ripping his shirt like Hulk Hogan, but it's his skin.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. I like for the metaphor, I kind of like it.
I like it a lot. The place where Van Helsing and Anna fight the three brides, that courtyard, is the same place where Frankenstein from 1931, Dracula from 1931 and The Wolfman from 1941 were filmed. The set's called The Court of Miracles, and it's part of the studio tour at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Okay.
So you can see it on part of the backlot tour.
The rest of this movie shot on a green screen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happened, but allegedly during filming, Hugh Jackman broke an extra's hand.
Oh.
Stephen Sommers really wanted Kate Beckinsale for the role of Anna, but worried it was too similar to Underworld, another movie that was almost listener request this month.
Yeah.
And she was actually shooting it at the time she was auditioning for this. So he didn't approach her for it, but she heard about the movie, and so she got her agent to get them to send her the script, and she immediately signed on.
Nice.
This was supposed to be the start of a series of Van Helsing adventure movies. However, this movie happened.
Yeah.
So all plans for a sequel dropped within days of the film's opening.
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale has said that she hated her corset that she wore through this entire movie and wanted to burn it after the movie wrapped.
I bet. Doing everything she's asked to do in a corset would suck. Yeah.
Yep. All of the vampire brides did their own stunts for the flying scenes. And by that, I mean, I think they did mocap.
I mean, most of the flying scenes are just CGI 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I might be spoiling a little bit with this, but this did really, really well in home box office. DVD sales were more than half of the revenue from theater runs in the first week. So we'll get into what theater runs were like in a minute. But
yeah.
The lab was equipped with antique medical equipment purchased on eBay. For the ballroom scene, that is literally, we don't see much dancing, but they practiced dancing for several hours every day so it would be flawless.
I mean, great.
I guess. So the second to the last scene of X2 X-Men United, where Cyclops, Wolverine, and Professor X are standing discussing Jean Grey after she is believed to have died at the end of that movie, was filmed while Hugh Jackman had a day off from this movie. So he was technically filming both at the same time.
Yeah.
So the werewolf featured earlier in the film, the one that bites Velkin, her brother, is supposed to resemble Rick Baker's werewolf creation from An American Werewolf in London, arguably a much better werewolf film.
Yes.
So Dracula's diminutive henchmen, the Dvergr, are actually small people from Germanic folklore. I still think this is Phantasm Core because they're too much like the Phantasm people.
Yeah.
The movie has no actual title card, but the title can be seen on a wanted poster as soon as the film turns to color.
I mean, we even see him grab that poster off the wall.
Yeah. Igor was specifically written for Kevin J. O'Connor, who had worked with Stephen Sommers before in The Mummy, obviously.
Yeah.
Stephen Sommers claimed that he changed the main characters from Abraham Van Helsing to Gabriel Van Helsing, and he didn't, mainly because he didn't think he could have a main character named Abraham, but also, like, that's you can't have him be the angel Abraham, because it's like a plot point.
Yeah, making your main character, I don't like the name Abraham, so I'm just going to make him the Archangel Gabriel. Just name him Gabriel if you like the name. Don't make him a whole nother mythological thing.
Well, also, it's kind of a slap in the face because the Irishman who wrote Dracula, Bram Stoker, named the character after himself. Bram is short for Abraham.
Man.
So it was like his own name.
Great. I love it.
Yep.
No notes.
Yeah. So Skylar Hensley, at least I believe that is how this is pronounced. If I'm wrong, sorry. He played Frankenstein's monster, but he also stood in as a body double for the CG Mr. Hyde for the fight scenes with Van Helsing, even though the voice and other acting for Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, is Robbie Coltrane, but apparently the mocap was done by this guy. They had a cardboard cutout with his face on top of his head so Hugh Jackman could have a point of reference when looking at his face. Yeah. So this is the first movie other than the Lord of the Rings films to use the massive software program developed for the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the CG they used. It does not look that good.
But you can definitely tell that those are the templates they used, especially in the castle at the end. I'm pretty sure it is almost exactly one of the CGI sets they use in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
So right before Dracula says, "I give you Van Helsing," in front of the other vampires, you can hear trumpets play the first musical phrase from the song Castle Dracula from Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Wow, okay.
Yep. When Van Helsing, Carl, and Anna find Castle Dracula, Carl looks at what seems to be skeletons impaled on spikes. This is obviously a reference to Vlad the Impaler, on whom Bram Stoker's Dracula is based on.
Yeah.
So the character of Carl is named after Carl Laemmle. You may know that name. There's a series of theaters, but he was the head of Universal Studios during the time that Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman were made.
Oh.
And then I'll end on this one. I mentioned earlier that there were plans for a TV show and series of movies to come after this. So they built the Transylvania town. That was supposed to be the basis for the television series, according to the producers. But they liked it so much, it was too good to just tear down. So parts of it still exist on the Universal backlot.
Nice.
And some of it still exists in Romania, where they filmed part of this movie. And those are your fun facts.
Thank you, Paige. I do want to say that there actually is a Van Helsing TV show that ran for 5 seasons and 65 episodes. They actually made that, Paige.
Not related to this, though.
No, not related to this, I
Okay.
guess. I think it was actually a Canadian production. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
It was for the Sci-Fi Network, I believe.
No, yeah, this was not. So this one was supposed to be on NBC.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it was supposed to be called Transylvania, and it would have featured a Wild West sheriff taken to Europe to battle monsters, with occasional guest appearances by Hugh Jackman as Gabriel Van Helsing. But once this movie did badly, they scrapped the whole thing.
Probably a good call. Well, Paige, thank you for those fun facts. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Van Helsing in 2004?
I think this was probably very expensive. I think this cost about $80 million.
Paige, I am kind of excited to report to you that this movie cost $170 million
Jesus Christ!
at the time. So yeah, if you adjust for inflation, because it's almost it is 21 years ago at this point, that would be like $291.5 million today. Now, the movie did come out the weekend of May 7th, 2004, and it was number 1 the weekend it came out. And Paige, I think you'll find this interesting. What episode comes out in 90 minutes on Romancing the Pod? I know we recorded it before you went to Japan. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
It's called Mean Girls.
Oh, shit.
That movie was number 2 to Van Helsing, which was number 1 in Van Helsing's opening weekend. Again, that was May 7th, 2004. Mean Girls had premiered the week before. Man on Fire was number 3. New York Minute was number 4. And 13 Going on 30, of which we have also done on Romancing the Pod, was number 5. What do you think Van Helsing made in its opening weekend?
So I know what it made in its opening week, but I don't know specifically weekend. But I'm going to hazard a guess. And this is going to sound like a lot of money, but you got to remember this movie was fucking expensive to make. I think it made about $70 million.
So it brought in $51.7 million in its opening weekend. And its second weekend, it fell to number 2, and then number 3 in its third weekend. But from there, it fell to 6, 8, and then was never again in the top 10. So it was only in the top 10 for its first 5 weeks. And it was in theaters for 15 weeks total, but I think probably didn't get quite to where they expected it and hoped it would. But Paige, what do you think it made domestically at the box office?
I think domestically this makes almost its budget, but not 2x. And for this, you definitely needed 2x because of the marketing. I think this makes about $180 million.
Yeah, so it brought in $120.1 million.
Oh, no.
Now, internationally, you actually were exactly right, because internationally it brought in $180 million.
Okay.
So it worldwide brought in $300 million, which is not quite 2x its budget.
It's not 2x. That's not enough.
Well, I don't know what they spent on marketing. It's probably not enough. I'm not saying you're wrong, because I do remember they promoted the hell out of this movie. But if you adjust that 300 roughly worldwide million to today's dollars, that's roughly $500 million. It's $514.5 million today. So this movie technically made money, and it, I'm sure, has made quite a bit of money, because even though you could watch it for free, Paige liked it so much she paid to rent it tonight. So it's still making money.
Oopsie doodles.
Yeah. But Paige, that's your box office. Do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Sure. Our scary scale is a scale of how scared we were when we saw the movie today, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd.
It's a 1. The movie was just messing around too much for me to be scared at any point.
Yeah, it's nonsense. This is a 1 for me too.
Yeah.
And that's your scary scale.
All right. Well, this week, Paige, the listeners made us watch Van Helsing. What are we going to watch next week as we thankfully leave the year 1887 and Dracula behind?
So we forgot that there's 5 Mondays in September. We're bad at calendars.
Oops.
Oopsie doodles. So we've got a week between September and then October, which is almost always sequel month for us because we always do a sequel to Halloween.
Yeah.
And we've got other sequels that we have needed to cover. So we got a week in between. And because it's still fresh in theaters and I want people to talk about it before it gets spoiled, we are going to do Weapons.
Yeah, so your homework for next week is to watch Weapons and then report back for that episode.
And hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. So this week I'm going to read one of our Spotify comments from our most recent episode, and that being our Renfield episode. Oh, hang on, Paige.
Yes.
A lot of, I think, romance lit people in the Spotify comments were guessing what book you're reading.
A bunch of people got it.
Was it Butcher and Blackbird?
Yeah, I'm almost finished with it.
Yeah.
I think I might like the subsequent books in the series perhaps better. We'll see. I'm going to read the rest of the series because I liked this one enough to keep reading, but yes, it was Butcher and Blackbird.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this comment from Rock the Casbot.
Yes.
Casbot with a B-O-T at the end.
Of course.
And they say, "Oh God, is Paige reading Butcher and Blackbird? That book is terrible." And then in parentheses it says, "Said Todd style. I regretted purchasing it."
Oh, damn.
But there were a lot of other people in the comments who are clearly excited that you're reading it. So they must have liked it.
I mean, here's the thing. I understand criticism of the book because there are parts of it that I was not as into, but I do like the story. And so I'm going to keep going. And I've heard that kind of the subsequent ones are slightly different. And so I might like them better. But I liked this one enough to keep going, I guess.
All I'm taking away from that is that Paige will only begrudgingly continue reading a book if she likes the story. What are you reading it for if not the story? Anyway, okay, it's definitely for the smut. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah, no, hey, good smut.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the smut. There were just other elements that I was not as into. And oddly enough, one of my roommates in Japan had also read it because I brought it with me and she was like, "Is this yours? We're about to be friends." Nice. I was like, "Yes."
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll keep on keeping on, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rock the Casbot, for that Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast. Some might call it a sister podcast called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back. And I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout-outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it oogie spooky.
Yeah, have an amazing week, guys. This movie is the funnest kind of hot trash nerds.